phone.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Delhi Township Board of Trustee meeting for January the 13th, 2016. As always, we will open the meeting both with a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's moment of silence is dedicated to a very dedicated to this community gentleman by the name of Dick Scott. Many of you might know Dick Scott Plumbing. Dick was a member of the Delhi Business Association as well as Riverview Delhi Hills Kiwanis. He's also been a true patriot and a real campaigner for all of our local elected officials. We will miss his favorite billboard, which was the chain fence at the corner of Fairbanks and River Road. So that'll kind of tell you what a great guy Dick Scott was and how he participated in this community. So tonight's moment of silence is dedicated to Dick Scott, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and we'll begin with motions for consideration. Mr. Luby.
Motion 2016-003, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting held on December 30th, 2015, and dispense with the reading.
I move motion 2016-003 to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meetings on December 30th, 2015.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-004, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees special meeting held on January 1st, 2016, and dispense with the reading.
I move motion 2016-004 to approve the minutes on January 1st, 2016.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-005, approve bills for payment.
I move motion 2016-005 to approve bills for payment.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-006, approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending January 5th, 2016.
I move motion 2016-006 for payment of overtime.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-007, accept the voluntary resignation of Catherine M. Fierick, full-time Community and Economic Development Manager, effective April 1st, 2016.
I move motion 2016-007 to accept the voluntary resignation of Catherine Fierick.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-008, accept the voluntary resignation of Michael A. Sexton, Park Seasonal Part-Time Service Worker, effective December 27th, 2015.
I move motion to 2016-008 to accept the voluntary resignation of Michael Sexton.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2016-009, approve the application grant submission for fiscal year 2015, Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program to FEMA by Fire Chief Campbell, requesting funding for various fire equipment with requirement of 10% matching funds by the Township, already budgeted as part of the 2016 TIF Fund, and account 16.1610.0205, mobile equipment fire account.
I move motion 2016-009 to approve the application grant submission for various fire equipment.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-010, approve the hiring of Daniel J. Wittestatter, part-time lodge and senior and community center custodian at $10 per hour, effective January 14th, 2016.
I move the motion 2016-010 to approve the hiring of Daniel Wittestetter.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. This evening, we are adding one presentation to the agenda. Catherine Fierick.
Thank you very much. This is rather a bittersweet presentation for me. I really do love working with Delhi Township, and I feel like we've gotten so much accomplished. And we will continue to get a lot accomplished. I'm here until April 1st. So I have a lot of work ahead of me still within that time period, and we're in a really good place right now. I couldn't be happier with where we are. Unfortunately, I had decided many months ago with my significant other who lives in Washington, D.C., that I would join him eventually, and April was the time that we fixed on. So I guess I'm following my heart, as someone else told me today. Regardless, this isn't a recent decision. The administrator, Pete Landrum, has been aware of this for many months, as has Tom Stahlhaber. The trustees have been aware of it for quite some time as well. So we've had time to formulate my exit pretty carefully. We will have a new individual to replace me that will hopefully start a few weeks, maybe half a month to a month before I leave. That way, I will be able to seamlessly hand over all of my contact information, introduce personally whoever takes my position to all the developers we're working with all of the stakeholders that wish to rent or purchase or otherwise be involved in any of these projects that we have going on. I do think that the April date is going to be excellent because of a lot that's going on right now. We'll be able to end on a very high note. But I want to thank Delhi Township for working with me through all of these months, these years actually. And it's been an incredible experience and one that I will certainly always remember. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for clearing up for everyone in the community. And we will tell you that this is a loss to us because she has been with us from ground zero on economic development, but she is doing this gracefully and with a lot of class, and we wish her the very best in her future life in Washington, D.C., but we've still got her till April the 1st. Trustee Oswald?
I just want to say thank you for your service to Delhi. We truly appreciate it. When you first started, we warned you about the uniqueness of Delhi and the various personalities that you may encounter, but the impressive thing is you won all those people over, and now they're saying, well, what are we going to do without Catherine? So certainly the major things, the signs, the redevelopment, the bicentennial that you helped, we never had that position before, and I know Pete wouldn't have the time to put something that together. So it just, for the future, it creates that position. It helps us, it puts us in the right direction. We really appreciate you, and I can tell for the community, like a lot of our decisions, we know this stuff many, many months ahead of time. We knew this was coming. This isn't a shock to us. Like she said, we planned the exit. We're going to hire. We found her. We'll find someone else too. So we're making the transition seamless, so we hit the ground. We don't miss anything. We still focus on the redevelopment like we did, and I know Catherine will do everything she can to assist the next person to take that over. So thank you and good luck.
Trustee Sturts?
I'm very disappointed. I was really looking forward to working with you and have been following you, obviously, in preparation for this position, what you've done and what a value it is to the township. And like I said, I'm very disappointed, but I'm glad you're following your heart, and I hope your future ends up being really rosy, and I wish the two of you the very best of luck.
Great. Okay, trustee correspondence. Trustee Oswald?
Nothing tonight?
Trustee Sturts?
Nothing?
I have one. I've been stopped a few times and received a few phone calls because the energy people, Constellation, as they think they're identifying themselves, are calling our residents. Pete Landrum has been in contact with them to find out what type of slamming this is, and coincidentally, after I talked to one resident on the phone about the call that she had received, I got the same call. And my response to their question was, I don't understand this. I am in a township that approved aggregation, and I shouldn't be getting this call, and they hung up on me. So I think we have our energy people following up, and as soon as we have more information, we'll share that with you. But I just wanted everyone to know. And Pete, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, but if they do get a call from Constellation, you can tell them immediately, I am part of the township aggregation, gas aggregation, which is through Constellation. So no, and terminate the call. So
Or they'll terminate it for you as soon as you say you're in a township with approved aggregation, as I found out.
We are working through Energy Alliance, trying to determine how this is or why this is happening. I don't know if they just have an area code or have a zip code, because we have heard that there was mass mailings done as well. So something's gotten crossed evidently, but that's what I said to Energy Alliance. I told them, I said, that's the last thing we need is more resident, confusion. We don't need to confuse people. Aggregation by itself is hard enough, and then when you get everybody else trying to call and get you to switch gas and electric, it's difficult enough that the aggregation gas companies are trying to call to get you to sign up for something you already have through them. But do not do it, because, I guarantee we probably have a better gas aggregation price than what they're trying to call you to sell, because that's probably not an aggregation price that they're trying to quote you. So please, if you have signed up or something like that, if you have signed up with them, that when they've called, if you want to call 922-3111 and ask for us, and we will get your information and put you in contact with the correct Constellation phone number so we can get that reversed.
Thanks, Pete. No other trustee correspondence. Report from fiscal officer.
At the December 30th meeting, we passed the resolution to get the bond purchase agreement signed and taken care of. And by doing so, we were able to lock in our rate on the bond financing of 2.26%. So we're very happy about that rate. Otherwise, we also have a FAB board meeting on January 19th, 2016 at 5:30, and we'll be here in the admin building. That's all I have.
All right, thanks. No public hearings for this evening. Reports from departments, none. All right, then we'll move to the reading of the resolutions. Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2016-001, resolution approving purchase order obligations incurred on behalf of the township by the township administrator, authorizing payment of certain purchase order obligations and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-002, resolution budgeting and amending revenues, making appropriations for expenses in various funds, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Pete Landrum.
Yes, ma'am. We have a donation. This is the kind of thing that I think the board would do all day as far as budget amendments. We're doing a budget amendment in revenues and in expenses because we have received a donation of $2,500 by a resident who would like to see the fire department, who would like to see. We kind of asked him, did you, Fire Chief Campbell asked him, is there anything particular you want us to, this to go for? And he's like, well, what do you need the most, and what do you need? And after discussion, it will help. The $2,500 will help update our training room, some of the equipment and things that are in there that you know how electronics get rather outdated rather quickly. But the training room at the firehouse will be utilized to utilize this training money. So we thank the resident, and it's a good day to have something like that happen. Chief, do you have anything? Was accurate? Okay.
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-003, resolution requesting the county auditor to make advance payments of taxes pursuant to revised code 321.34 and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Landrum?
Yes, this is just an annual thing we request, or we make a formal request to the auditor's office so we can, normally settlements come twice a year, but this enables us to request the tax money that's owed to us in advance of that, and then twice a year, April, May, and September, October, those are the actual settle-up periods. But this enables, this is like, do you want the IRS holding on to your money, or would you rather keep it in your paycheck? Well, we'd want our money up front. It's no interest or anything on it towards us, so this enables us to request from the auditor's office to give us our property tax money in advance.
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-004, resolution declaring intent to conduct an internet auction for the sale of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit township personal property effective December 31st, 2016, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Again, Mr. Landrum.
This just gives us an annual thing again, but this gives us the permission to advertise. Specifically, we use Gov Deals to do our obsolete and old equipment or whatever that the board has to authorize to do so. But this is just an annual notice that we use Gov Deals to facilitate that.
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-005, resolution certifying violation abatement expenses at 1219 Pine Knot Drive to the county auditor for assessment and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-006, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 576 Orchard View Place and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Thank you, Trustee Seavey. We received a complaint on this vacant property of accumulated debris. We issued order letters to inspected the property today, and the debris is still there. So we're requesting your board declare this property a nuisance so we can address this violation with our nuisance procedures.
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-007, resolution providing for the removal of a junk motor vehicle at 446 Wilkie Drive and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Thank you,
Tony?
Trustee Seavey. We received a complaint at this occupied property, this inoperative motor vehicle. We issued an order letter with no compliance. Upon our inspection today, the vehicle is still there, so we're requesting that your board declare this property a nuisance so we can address this violation with our nuisance procedures.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-008, resolution providing for the removal of a junk motor vehicle at 834 Gilcrest Lane and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Roach.
Thank you, Trustee Seavey. We received a complaint at this occupied property of this inoperable motor vehicle. We issued an order letter with no compliance. We drove by today and the vehicle is still in the same condition on the property, so we're requesting that your board declare this property a nuisance so we can address this violation with our nuisance procedure.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes. I have no citizens' comments as yet. Do we have guests here for any reason? Boy Scouts, what troop? 614. St. Antonidas. And what badge are you working on? Okay, well, we're glad to have you here. All right, announcement of community events. Mr. Luby.
The Delhi Historical Society will have a family history scanning station on Saturday, January 16th, 2016, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It will be at the Delhi Branch Library at 5095 Foley Road. The Delhi Historical Society program is also offering the Florist of Delhi and Language of Flowers. It will be Monday, February 8th, 2016 at 7 p.m. It will be at the Delhi Park Lodge at 5125 Foley Road. The Delhi Township Fire Department and CERT Community Disaster Preparedness Training will be Monday, February 15th, 2016 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It will be at the Delhi Fire Headquarters at 697 Neeb Road. And other announcements regarding the bicentennial celebration. The Delhi Historical Society farmhouse exhibits will be Delhi in Bloom and the Language of Flowers. 2 new exhibits will explore Delhi early history as a wine-growing region and its transformation into the floral paradise of Ohio. These exhibits are free and open to the public and are on display during visitor hours. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays from 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Contact 451-4313 or www.delhihistoricalsociety.org.
Thank you. There is no need for executive session this evening, so Trustee Oswald?
There be no further business, I move to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be on Wednesday, January the 27th at 6 p.m., same place. Go safe.